Good morning, new offer agents. We are so excited to have you here this morning. Thank you for taking the time to join this webinar. As I promised, it will be short, sweet, and you're going to learn so much. So I'm going to go through a short outline before we get started. Thank you all so much for joining me. So welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to go over new offer, and I'm going to be demonstrating new offer on my iPad as an agent. So that's me. I'm Tammy, and if you call in the office, you'll probably recognize my voice. Well, now you get to see my face. So in this webinar, I'm going to go over how to write, sign, and submit an offer in 5 minutes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraft that offer. I'm going to send it to my buyer to sign it, and we're going to submit that offer in 1 minute. And I'm going to show you how you can now do this from anywhere. So I'm going to break this up into 2 parts. So in the first part, I'm going to write an offer. My buyer is going to be with me, and my buyer is going to sign it on my iPad. Then we're going to submit that offer to the listing agent. And then we're going to go take a look and see the email that the listing agent receives. I want you to see the PDFs that they get and how they look exactly the same, that if you were to send them by uploading, downloading, attaching things, writing everything out, I want to show you how simple and easy and beautiful it looks with new offer. So in order to do that, I'm going to use my iPad. I'm going to show you my buyer's phone, and we're going to go into the listing agent's inbox and see exactly what they receive. So that's part 1. Part 2, I'm going to redraft that offer. I know listing agents call you all the time saying, I really like this offer, but we want to change this term. Well, you don't have to redraft that entire offer. I'm going to show you how you can redraft that offer in 1 minute. My buyer's going to sign it remotely. So I'm going to show you exactly what they go through. And then we're going to submit that offer on my cell phone or my iPad. I'm going to show you both ways that you can do it so you can truly, truly be mobile. So in this case, I'm going to use my iPad, as always. Then we're going to use my buyer's phone, and we're going to take a look into my buyer's inbox. And then I'm also going to use my cell phone to show you how you can submit this signed offer on your cell phone as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Here's what you can do. You can raise your hand if you have a question, and then I'll just unmute you at the end of the webinar, and we'll talk it out. I'll show you exactly I'll answer your questions right then and there after the webinar, after I go through my whole spiel. Or if you have a question, you can just ask it right away. I don't have to unmute you at the very end. You can just ask your question. I'll make sure that I answer it at the end of the webinar. So this will not take very long at all. So in fact, let's just get started. You guys are all here to learn. I would love to show you new offer. So you should see my iPad any moment. There we go. So that's my iPad. Can you give me a little bit of feedback in that chat or the questions? Can someone give me a little feedback letting me know that they can see my screen? Oh, fantastic. Wow, thank you guys. Very cool. All right. So we are all set. I'm just going to go into my iPad. And now this is new offer. This is a dashboard that you've probably seen. It looks, a little different. You might not have so many buyers that you've been ignoring. I hope not. But this is the new offer dashboard. You log in a new offer. You have my buyers, you have my listings, and then my escrow. I just made that shorter because we're not doing anything with that right now. So as you know, we're focusing on the buyers, on writing offers for our buyers. So in order to start something with new offer, you need to add a buyer. You need to create a buyer account. You do that by just tapping add buyer right here. And we're going to add my buyer's first name, Judith Smith. And then we're going to add my buyer's email. All right. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to add my buyer's cell phone number, and I'll show you where that comes useful later. You don't need to add your buyer's cell phone number, but you can. It makes things easier for you in the long run. So this is a single buyer account. If I wanted to make it a 2-buyer account, then I will just tap buyer 2 right here and add buyer 2's information. But Judith is gonna buy this house alone, and so I'm gonna help her out. If my buyer is with me and she wants to, I can collect her signature right here by tapping tap to sign. I would just add her initials and add her signature. So even if I add her initials and signature right there, I can't use them without her permission. I'll show you that when we get to the signing page. I can also add a photo. You don't have to do this, but I'll just show you how easy it is and why we add photos. That's me. I'm going to use that photo and we're going to get started. So if I want to submit this and keep this buyer, I'm just going to tap submit at the bottom and my buyer shows up right here on the screen. So now that I have my buyer, I actually want to do something with my buyer. I want to write an offer. I don't know about you. So I'm just going to tap my buyer's picture, Judith Smith, and we're going to go into her account. There she is. So in her account, we can see that we can edit her information. We can add documents for her. But what I want to do is I want to write an offer right now. So I'm going to tap write offer now. And this is going to take me directly into the new offer flow. So new offer, writing an offer with new offer is 6 steps, not unlike anything that you do otherwise to write an offer. You have a buyer, and then you have to find a property for that buyer. And once you find a property, you need to get that information. So I'm going to search the MLS. Step 2 is getting the property. I'm going to search the MLS for this property. I know that it's on Maple. So I'm going to search for Maple in the MLS, and all the stuff is going to show up. And look, it's the house that Judith wants to write an offer on. So once I find it, I'm just going to tap the picture, and it's going to pull up all the legal information. So I know that it's lot 10. I know that it's block 2. And then if they put the seller's name in there, the seller's name would just show up. So if I knew the seller's name, I would put it in there and that would show up in the contract. So I'm just going to tap submit. And all the listing information we've pulled in from the MLS. So you don't have to pull that in there. Isn't that cool? So now that I've selected the home from the MLS, I can go to the forms page. So I'm just going to tap forms, step 3. I'm going to select the forms I actually need to write the offer with. So I'm going to select the 1 to 4. I'm going to select third-party financing. After I've selected all the forms that I need to use, I'm just going to fill them out by tapping terms and going to the next page, step 4. So the 2 documents that I just selected are right up here. To fill those out, I'm just going to tap the form I want to fill out, and we're going to pull all of the terms out of that form. So to fill out all these terms, I'm just going to tap here. And so we pulled the purchase price or the listing price right out of the MLS. If I want to modify that at all, I just modify it right there. If I want to put down 5%, it'll automatically calculate 5%. If I know my buyer wants to put down 20%, we'll automatically calculate 20% as the cash and loan portion. I added third-party financing, so we've automatically checked that. And so to submit this, I would just tap submit. And if I tap submit and next, it'll automatically take me to the next term. And we'll just go straight down this line. I'll just add my title company. Submit and next. I'll add earnest money. Submit and next. We're just going to go straight down this line. And this is very smart. If this is a Texas Veterans Loan, it's only going to tell me the information I need to fill out. Submit and next. We want to help you write a flawless offer. Survey, 7 days. Submit and next. We're just going straight down this line. So if it's part of an MLS, if it's part of an HOA and I want to say yes, it'll tell me that I don't have the form. If it's not, I just keep it at no. If I add the form, it'll automatically say yes and just take me through all those questions. Submit and next. Closing date. If I wanted to close exactly a month from now, it would be a Thursday. If I wanted to close the 9th, I would see that was a Sunday. I would just back it up to the 7th. We want to make sure, again, flawless offer. We don't want you to close on a weekend. We don't want you to have to redraft it just because of a mistake like that. So closing costs, we're going to ask for 1,000. Mediation, absolutely. Pull in that information from the buyer's account for 7 days. Commission, special provisions, none, and we're done. I've just filled out a contract. So the status is completed. And once the status of all my documents is completed, I'll show you third-party financing. See, we already filled it out. No reason to do it twice. Once I've filled out all of my contract, all of the documents, my buyer's ready to sign it. So I'm just going to tap sign at the top or next at the bottom. So I explained that when I'm writing the offer now, my buyer's with me, and I'm going to show you how my buyer can actually sign on my iPad. It's really cool. So since my buyer's with me, my buyer is just going to add their initials. Hit save, and we're going to save that. And then I'm going to hand this iPad back to my buyer, and she's going to sign her signature. When she's satisfied, she's just going to tap save. So I told you that even though we're collecting the initials and signature, I, as the agent, can't do anything with it without my buyer's explicit permission. So if I want to view and sign this on my iPad, I need to get permission from my buyer. So that cell phone number that I put in for her comes up right there, and we're going to ask my buyer for permission by tapping send now. I'm going to show you exactly what the buyer receives. Get this going. Sorry, one moment. I'm going to bring my cell phone up on the screen. All right, so here's my cell phone. You can see it. And my buyer just got a text message saying, hey, Judith, tap to authorize your signature. She's just going to tap that URL. And it's going to take her to this web page that says, I, my buyer's name, hereby authorize signatures on the device of my agent, Tammy. Judith is just going to tap yes, that she authorizes the signature. And then it automatically unlocks her signatures on my iPad. So they're approved, and we're ready to proceed right here. It shows all of the documents that I used in my offer. So I'm just going to hand this to my buyer, and she's going to tap sign. And we're going to go through this contract together. It's a really unique opportunity for you to be able to write this and have your buyer right there. So she's going to review this. It looks great. And she's going to just tap the initials box. And the initials that she just created are going to show up right there. Tap initials, initials, review all this. And her signature. When she's done, we're going to let her know. We're just going to go to the next document. She's just going to tap initials and signature. And then we're all done. So once both documents are ready to be submitted, I can tap submit at the top or just next at the bottom, and I'll be taken into the submit flow. So I'm ready to submit this. We're going to bring in my email address, the listing agent's email address from the MLS, and then my buyer's email address. So because this is a test offer, I'm just going to uncheck the listing agent so the listing agent won't actually receive this offer. So I can add anybody else I want to this. And when I'm done, I can just tap next. I can review these documents and I can write a nice little note to the listing agent. Tap next. I can see a preview of this email. We're going to have a really nice cover letter where we break down an outline of the offer. You see the picture of the house. You see it's addressed to the listing agent. There's the address. Here's my entire offer. There's my picture. Here is my nice little note that I just wrote, as well as all of my contact information. And then all of the offers, all the documents will be just attached below as PDFs. So we're going to go take a look into that. So if I look in my buyer's account, we're going to see a digital copy of this that I can review at any time. Which is really cool. So new offer, you'll see it appear right here. New offer actually lets you see side by side offers that you've written for this buyer. And this buyer has the ability to see side by side offers that you've written to them. How many times have you written offers and after offer after offer for a buyer and they really don't realize how much work you've done? See, you can just review this at any time. Always just right at your fingertips. So if I were to go in here, I would see an email from my agent. So we're just going to wait a second for that. So we also know a lot of times, like I said in the very beginning, you get calls from the listing agent saying, you know, like, I saw this offer, it looks great, but we don't want to pay $500 home warranty. We don't want to pay, my sellers don't want to pay anything. So you'd go back, you talk to your buyer and you say like, hey, if you really want this house, we can't, like, they don't want to pay for this. What do you think? My buyer's okay with it. So I'm ready to redraft this offer. So all I would do is I would just tap view and redraft offer. And what it's going to do is it's just going to take me directly to the terms of that offer. So this looks familiar, right? Here are all the terms that I filled out last time. The agent told me that they don't want to pay anything in home warranty. So we originally put $500 and now they don't want anything. So we're just going to put 0 and submit. Everything else looks great, and so we're ready to submit this offer. But because I changed the offer, we need to collect signatures again. The buyer needs to sign this brand new contract. So my buyer's not with me anymore, and so I still need to collect the signatures. By tapping email to buyer, the buyer can sign on their computer, on their tablet, on their smartphone, and then you'll be notified. So let's go into my buyer's inbox. See, here's the offer that we just wrote for this beautiful house. It has that outline we were just talking about, has my picture, my note, all my information, and then right down here, those PDFs we were talking about. You can open it just like any other PDF. So here, my buyer just got a email saying, hey, I have some documents that I want you to sign. It's very simple. All my buyer is going to do is she's going to see this big red button and she's just going to click here. We're going to take her to a brand new page and it's going to show a picture of the house with a purchase price. It's going to show the 2 documents she needs to sign and this big green button that says sign documents. She's going to tap that button. And since we already have her initials and signature registered, she doesn't need to collect those. She can use those anytime she wants. So here's the contract. She's just going to click the initials box, just like she did on my iPad. So she's going to look through this, click the initials box. Click. And see that home warranty that we had $500 right here the first time she signed it, we changed it to 0 and it's right there. click, click. Just going to review all of this, click. See, I added the third-party financing addendum and it's checked off automatically. I don't need to go do that. So Judith signed it, and now she's going to be taken to the next one. Click, review, and click. She's done. She just signed all the documents. It was so simple, and she got to use her own wet signature. So once she's done, I'm going to receive a text message and an alert on my iPad. I'll show you exactly what that text message looks like again. Oh, and look, I'm even going to get an email right here saying that Judith just signed the documents. And I have a text message that says Judith just signed the documents. And if I go into my new offer account, I'll see that Judith signed the documents. So I'm ready to submit the signed offer. I can tap this URL on my cell phone, and I can tap, or if I want to, if I have my iPad with me, I can tap submit signed offer. So I'm just going to go through this and show you what it looks like on both. So again, you see this? We did this last time where we had my email address, we had the listing agent's email address, and my buyer's email address. I don't actually want to send this to the listing agent, so I'm just going to uncheck the listing agent's email. I can add anybody else that I want to add to this. On my cell phone, same exact thing, the listing agent's email address. Just going to delete it for good measure. My email address, my buyer's email address. I can preview the documents just like I can on my iPad. I can write a personal note. I'll do this on my cell phone. Click almost there. And we're just going to see the outline of that offer like we did on our iPad. See my picture, my nice little note, my contact information. And then, just like the iPad, I have a big green button that says send offer. And the offer was sent from my phone. How cool is that? So if I go back into my buyer's account, I'll see that it's sent. And I can review it just like I review the other document anytime. So that's how you can write an offer with new offer in 5 minutes. And then that's also how you can redraft that offer in 1 minute. I showed you how your buyer can sign the offer from anywhere. And I showed you how you can sign the offer with your buyer when your buyer's right there. So that's the end of my webinar. That is all that I have to show you. If you have any questions, go ahead and just go in the questions box, or you can raise your hand. So I have one question that says, can I write an offer on a property that's not in the MLS? Absolutely, Matthew, you can. Let me show you. So I'm in my buyer's account right now, which is convenient. And let's say I want to write an offer for Judith on a property that's not in the MLS. I'm just going to tap write offer now. And on this page, here's the MLS search. If it's not in the MLS, I'm just going to check this box right here. And I would just manually add all this information. And then all of this information would go directly into the contract, go into the contracts, as well as be used as contact information when I'm ready to send the offer. Everything is the same. You just put in the information manually. So Sandra asked, can you save the title company information that you usually use? Absolutely. So let me show you. We have this really cool feature that will save you tons of time. I'm going to search for a home in the MLS. We're going to put the legal information in one more time. Block P. Submit. We saw the seller's name right there. So on the forms, let's say we use the 1 to 4 and the third-party financing again. Just going to fill those out. If I want to use information that I usually use, I can save those terms as default terms. So I just write a contract and I click this button that says save default terms. So things including the title company information, how many days you want for a survey or objections. We'll save those terms, and anytime you want to use those similar terms, you're just going to tap use saved terms. So if I tap use saved terms, I get an alert saying that your terms have been applied to the offer. So you still need to go through the offer. We still want to make sure that you go through every single term, that you make sure that everything is correct in this contract. But what we'll do is we'll put in that title policy right there. So Sandra, I hope that answers your question. I'll show you some of the other terms that we save, because this is going to save you so much time. Pretty cool, right? So do we have any other questions? All right, so I see a question about your account. So to go and see the information and review the information in your account, you're just going to go to the main page. This first page, the main dashboard, when you sign in. In the top left-hand corner, you're going to see a drawer, or you're going to see this button that has 3 lines. We call that the drawer because it just slides open on the left side. From here, you can go into My Account. And you can review and edit this information just in case the information pulled in from the MLS isn't reflective of what you want in the contract. From here, you can also change your password just by tapping password and confirm password. And you can also subscribe to new offer. If you want to, you think this is going to save you time, if you think that this is worth not driving across the city to go back to your office to pull out your laptop, then you can just purchase new offer right here. It's $15 a month, or if you get it for the whole year, it's $150. That's 2 free months of writing unlimited offers. You can also, really cool thing, save your information. You can save your username and password so you don't have to put it in every single time. Just going to go back to the main page. Okay, so Steve, absolutely, Steve, you can add a second buyer to an account. So I just added Judith, and I said that was a single account. But let's say she wants to buy a better house, and so she's going to buy this with her boyfriend or with her mother. If we need to add a second buyer to this account, I can just tap Edit Buyer right here. And I can just add the second buyer's information below. So let's say she wants to buy a house with Jimmy Fallon. That'd be fun, right? And just enter their email. And then just tap submit. On the main page, we'll see that that's all of a sudden turned into a 2-buyer account. So now every time you write an offer for Judith, 2 buyers, both Judith and Jimmy, will have to sign these offers. Did that answer your question? You're welcome, absolutely. Are there any other questions? All right, well, that is all that, Thank you so much, Sandra. Absolutely. So Sandra is a seasoned agent, and she made a very good point that when you're adding information into an offer, anytime it has a value amount, so for home warranty, for example, put a number in there. Don't put none, or don't write out 0. Just put the number 0, and that'll show up on the contract. And that your buyer can be mobile as well. If you're not with your buyer, if your buyer is out and about and you want to get this contract in right away, they can absolutely sign on their cell phone. Just like we get emails to our cell phone, they get emails to their cell phone too. They just click through and they can sign emails on their cell phone. And then does the client need to have an iPad or an iPhone in order to approve or sign? So Neil, that's a fantastic question. Right now, they need to have a smartphone in order to approve the signatures. We're not expecting this to be the only case for very long. We are going to allow for them to just send a text message back with a yes or a no in order to approve the signature. And then they can, if they don't have a smartphone to collect signatures, they can use an e-signature on their computer anytime. So your clients don't necessarily need smartphones. It helps if you're with them, but they don't need them all the time. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Sandra, you have another question. I love it. You asked, how do you add another addenda to constitute the contract on page 8? So what's really cool is on the forms page, any form that I add here, so property located seaward, membership of a homeowners association, let's go fill out this contract. It's going to automatically say yes because I added that. I'm going to fill this out. Okay, so submit. So everything is complete, as we can see. All these contracts are complete. I can go sign it. So right now, I'm just going to view it because I don't actually want to sign it. I just want to show you this contract. So the 1 to 4, you asked about page 8 and adding the other boxes. So when you add another form, we'll automatically check the boxes off for you. So addendum for property located seaward, subject to a property owners association, third party financing addendum, and any other ones, this one will be checked and they'll be listed out right here for you. So you don't have to go in and actually do it. And so I hope that answers your question. I hope that's helpful, not just for this question, but for when you write offers. And then Mike, you were asking no seller's name on the contract. I didn't put a seller's name on the contract because the seller didn't, there was no seller in the MLS. I could have, if I knew the seller's name, I could have added the seller's name and then they would have appeared right here, as well as right there. Yep. And so look, isn't that really cool? We pull in all the broker or all the listing agent's information, so you don't have to put that in as well. If they put it in the MLS, it's on our contract. All right. Let me scroll up and see more questions. So how can you add the homeowners association form that the agent already filled out and had the seller sign? What you can do is you can upload that from within the New Offer web account. And I'll show you what that looks like. If you'd like, I can go in. I don't want to make this webinar last too long. Everyone's super busy. So if you have questions, I would love to show you how this works. So if you go to newoffer.com, you probably recognize this page. And you just click login right here. You can log into a web platform that supports the New Offer app. So right now, you can't write offers from this. All you can do is upload documents for Judith. If I have that document that you were talking about, I can just upload it right here. I can attach signatures, and then it will appear in the forms page anytime that I write an offer for that buyer. Eventually, we'll be able to write offers from the computer, from your web account. But right now, it is just supporting the new offer app. We want you to be mobile first, and then you can come back and we'll bring all of this onto the website as well. If you'd like me to go more into that, you can always contact me, Tammy, Tami, at newoffer.com. I can show you videos. I can walk through this with you, and you can contact me anytime with questions about that. So Mike asked, what if you type something wrong and need to go back and change the amount or something? So let's say I'm reviewing this with my buyer and they say like, hey, termination option of 500 seems a little steep. Is there any way we can do 100? And let's say you want to change that term. So you want to go back and change the option fee. So right now we are ready to sign the offer. If I want to go change something in the offer, I would just go back and change the terms of the offer. So I want to change the option period or the option fee from 500 down to 100. I would just tap submit. If that's the only thing I wanted to change, I'd go back to the sign page and I would see that that term is changed. I'll show you that right here. 100. So you can go ahead and change anything you want on this contract. Anytime. You're just going to change the terms of the contract. Let me see if I have any more questions. So many of you participating. I love it. How do you delete an old offer you don't want the buyer to see anymore? So I'm just going to go back into my buyer's account. So we don't allow you to delete contracts that you've already submitted to the listing agent. We don't want you to accidentally do anything like that. But if you're writing a draft of an offer and you don't need that draft anymore, then you can just delete that draft. And I'm going to show you another really cool feature while I have you here. Is the ability to save a draft of an offer. So let's say that your buyer sees a house and they want to write an offer on it, but they're not quite sure. Let me go back. And they're not quite sure that they're ready to submit it. We're going to allow you. Oh, looks like I made a mistake, so let's just open this back up. We're going to allow you to save a draft of that offer. And then if you want to finish it later, if your buyer decides like, you know, I do want to go through with this, let's finish this offer, then we can just go back in and finish that offer. So let me just go into my buyer's account. We're going to write that offer that we were just talking about. She saw a beautiful house on Horse. Right there, 402 Horseshoe Drive. Lots 23 and 24, Block A. So let's say I start writing this offer. And I go to the terms. I've selected my forms. Now I'm going to go to the terms. So I start writing it, and she's like, you know, I'm not quite sure I'm ready to pull the trigger on this one. I would just hit Save Offer. And then I'm just going to go back to the main. And she calls me up and she says, hey, you know, like, I really want this one. Let's finish writing this offer. Or she can say, you know, I'm not really interested in the house. It's a little too expensive for me. What we can do is from the buyer's account, you can delete it or you can continue the draft. And once it pulls up, I'll show you right away. reload this page. All right, so we see right here, 402 Horseshoe Drive. If I wanted to continue it, so she gives me a call and she says, hey, I want to finish writing this offer. I really love the house. You can just continue editing the draft and it'll take you right back to where you were. We'll even see the term that we wrote. Or if your buyer says, you know, I thought about it and I really can't do it, it's too much, I can delete this offer. All right, does anybody else have any questions? I know you're all very busy. You're gonna go use new offer, write tons of offers. I feel it. Any other questions before you go? Well, then I do want to let you know that there are help screens throughout the app. If you have any questions and you want to see just a quick tip on what you can do on the page or you just don't know how to go forward, you can always tap this drawer. You can tap this question mark and a slider will come out and we'll have some videos for you. We'll give you some direction. You can also always give us feedback right here. We love hearing feedback from you. If you want another feature, if you don't get something and you want to make it easier for yourself, we love hearing feedback from you. So just let us know, give us feedback, watch videos, let us know how we can help you. This tool is for you and we want to make it better. And then if you have more questions, just call us 818-861-7363. We are always here to help you out. We are available 24/7. Whenever you write offers, we are here to help you. And we look forward to hearing all of your success stories and we wish you luck and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks guys for joining.